morning, guys. It's episode 22 of The Cut. It is Thursday, October 13th, about 8 o'clock p.m. or 8 o'clock a.m. I'm on my way to work right now. Again, it was one of those mornings where basically I took advantage, slept in, woke up, got ready, and then just got my protein shake together, and then headed to work out in the car. I gotta say, I think I've got to find a better rhythm as far as like early workouts, working into the late evening, because I need something that's going to be a little bit more consistent and rhythmic, and I don't know what that's going to end up looking like. But I've got to experiment with it a little bit. I like getting my workouts out early. I like getting them done early in the morning. However, I don't really prefer I don't care for the performance, like how well I perform during those training sessions. I feel like I train better later in the afternoon or in the evening, and I get more out of it. So, I don't know. And I've got to make time to try to get to bed earlier if I'm gonna get up and do workouts that early. Going to bed at 11 p.m. instead of 12 p.m. or a little bit after midnight. It's just too short of a turnaround from 12 to noon. Like, I know people talk all the time about hustling and only sleeping 3 and 4 hours, and like, I think that's doable for a period of time, but definitely not on like a weekly basis, in my opinion. So, I don't know. We're gonna experiment with it, play around. I think that also, definitely plays a role in my ability to get lean, lose fat. Like, I think that it definitely doesn't aid me. I don't know if it hinders me, but it definitely doesn't aid me. So that's another thing I'm kind of considering. As you guys saw, I weighed in again today at 220. Yesterday was 218. I did wake up in the middle of the night last night and eat like 3 pieces of bread and like 4 tablespoons of peanut butter. So I added a bunch of calories that I just didn't need. However, I left off eating yesterday at about 2,400 calories. So I had a little bit of room, but I bet that stuff pushed me up closer to 3,000 calories, which just isn't gonna cut it for losing fat, getting weight off. However, that's like, guys, like I've talked about this again and again before, like, this process is not going to be linear. It is not going to be crush every day. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to have days where you go over, days when you don't hit your protein target. So it's nothing to beat yourself up about. It's kind of like a quarterback having a short-term memory. You've got to just put it behind you, start the next day, do better. Like, focus on the next play. That being said, based on kind of my, as I talked about in the previous episode, based on my measurements and my progress photos, I really feel like I need to make a big, drastic cut in calories. It's really not that big. I'm going from 2,600 to 2,200, so it's another 400 calories. It's not a ton, but I'd really like to make some significant progress between week 4 and week 8. So I'm going to drop pretty low, which means I'm going to have to I haven't been that low in calorie intake in a long time, which means I'm going to have to get much more strategic about the foods I'm eating, making sure I have more volume foods, so things like oatmeal, but making sure that things are relatively higher protein, lower calorie, and really watching my fat intake, because the way I set up my macros was I gave myself more carbs because I prefer foods that tend to be higher in carbs than foods that are higher in fat. So I just be very mindful. Like red meat's probably going to be something I have to limit quite a bit. I'm going to have to stick to leaner meats like turkey, fish, chicken. So yeah, but this should be a great opportunity though for those of you who are looking to lose fat and get lean, because this is kind of where the rubber meets the road. The last 4 weeks, I've lost about 3 to 5 pounds depending on the day. been relatively adherent and compliant with what the macros and calories I set, but now it's going to get a little bit difficult because my nutritional resources, my calories and my macros that I have to spend each day is getting limited. So it's just like a financial budget. You have to, the less you have of it, the more careful and strategic you have to be spending it. So it'll be good. So this morning I'm drinking a protein shake on my way to work, protein bars for lunch, and then home to train after that, and then jiu-jitsu practice. So get something to eat in there. So yeah, I will see you guys probably at lunch. Hey guys, I just got home from work. It's 5:15 p.m. I'm getting ready to train today. Is back and biceps. Hopefully knock that out in like 45 minutes, pretty quick, but tons of volume. Get showered up, get something to eat, change, head to jiu-jitsu practice by 7 for practice at 7:30. Finish that up, then come home. Yeah, so that's the plan. Haven't had anything else since lunch. At lunch I had 2 protein bars. Like I said, I'll eat something after I train, and then I'll also eat something after jiu-jitsu practice. So yeah, keeping those calories low, 2,200. We'll see how that goes. This will be the first day like that, so we'll see. So enjoy the training video. I just finished up my workout, so I apologize if I sound sort of out of breath. It was back and bicep day, like I said earlier, and like you guys saw, just a whole lot of rowing, curling. It's a little bit rushed, but that's kind of the nature of, I get home at 5, lift, and then try to make like an hour of time between having to leave to go to jiu-jitsu. Not that I'm complaining about that, I would much have rather have tried to get myself up this morning and gotten the workout in. However, it just didn't happen. I was feeling the sleep, and so I decided to go with that. But I got it in, plenty of volume, lowered calories today. We'll see how that goes over the next 4 to 5 weeks, what kind of progress I can make. And like, not that there was anything wrong with the rate of weight loss I've been having, it's just I want to shoot 12 weeks of the cut series, and so I would like to be able to show you guys some significant changes that can be made with dedicated, diligent practice, but still not making life like suck. So that's really the reason why, it's just to kind of improve the quality of the content. And it'll be really nice as I get lower in the calories. It's going to open up more conversations, more windows of opportunity for me to do some coaching via this camera to all of you that I would normally do with clients one-on-one in person or online. You guys will kind of get that a little bit more value out of it, I think. So next up on the docket is some food. I think I might just go with some light and fit Greek yogurt, maybe a protein shake. I hate eating anything like significantly large or heavy before exercising or like doing something like jiu-jitsu. So try to keep it on the lighter side, but still get some calories, some protein, some carbs, and then have like a nice big whole food meal. Like, I know there's probably some people out there like, oh my gosh, Steven, it's 6 o'clock in the evening and all you've had is protein shakes and protein bars. And the thing is that's just kind of where, as far as like my priorities, my lifestyle, my job, my side hustle, kind of like where all those things cross for me right now.
that's the balance I've struck. Is it like ideal? No. Do I get as many vegetables as I would like to get in a day? No. Could I do better? Yes, but that would mean I would have to pull brain time away and brain like energy away and time away from hustling on the weekend for my business, creating content, sending emails, doing business development meetings, because I would have to make time for planning and executing a grocery store list, planning and executing a meal prep. Would that be doable? Yes. It's just I've chosen that for now, at this point in time where I am, I think there's a disproportionate upside for me to do more supplemental foods and devote more time towards business, towards family, and that kind of thing. So my point in telling you guys that is I want to communicate to you guys that there is no right way, there is no wrong way. There's many ways that work, and it's about finding the one that's doable, that's sustainable, that you'll adhere to, that you'll make progress with for you. It's so contextual, it's so individualized. So don't let somebody stick a finger in your face and tell you it has to be a certain way. The best coaches work with you. The best coaches make you a partner. The best coaches act like a Sherpa to give their experience, their guidance, their expertise, but to ultimately let you take the steps yourself and experiment and fall and pick yourself up and get better and learn. So this is my 2 cents. You have to do what you feel is right. Granted, what you feel is right has to still move you closer to your goals. But if it's moving you closer to your goals and you can adhere to it and you're happy with it, do it. Like, you're the one who has to live with you. You're the one who has to live with your life, your choices, your decisions. You got to go after it the way you want to go after it. So, all right, enough ranting there on how I think it should be. I'm gonna go eat something. I'll see you guys before practice.
The directions doesn't have the thumb part on it.
Huh?
They sent me like the directions for like the wrong one.
So it's 7 p.m. What you guys saw previous to this was I ate, like I said, a protein shake, just 1 scoop, and 2 of those light and fit Greek yogurts. I really like those light and fit Greek yogurts. They're super filling, but they have really awesome, like, kick-ass macro content. It's like 12 protein, 8 carb per container. So definitely like one of my go-to snacks now, because it's relatively higher protein, lower calorie. But yeah, oh, and the paper I showed you was a paper from the New England Journal of Medicine. It was from 1948. It's Sidney Farber, which if you know anything about the history of cancer, which is a really awesome book everybody should read, called The Emperor of All Maladies. The author's name, like, he's super smart, intelligent doctor, incredible researcher, but for the life of me, I always mispronounce his name, so I'm not even gonna try because, like, too much respect there. And I don't want to butcher his name and sound ignorant. But if you look up the book, it's a fantastic book. It's basically a biography of cancer and its history. But Sidney Farber was basically the first doctor to basically successfully treat cancer with a drug or a chemical. And the paper I showed you was the paper he published after successfully treating, I believe it was a group of 16 children, and particularly he was looking at leukemia in childhood, basically childhood leukemia essentially is kind of the demographic and the disease he dealt with. But the reason why I got that paper was, while cancer research and treatment of cancer has advanced a ton in the last, the paper was published in 48, and people have been looking at dealing with cancer now, we're pretty sure, for centuries. The paper represents to me somebody who, if you guys don't know the story of Dr. Farber, he was essentially a pathologist. His job wasn't to be an oncologist. He wasn't, like, that wasn't his thing. He, however, was a pathologist at a hospital where he basically had to do post-mortem autopsies
on a ton of patients, and specifically children who died of leukemia. And to me, that paper represents somebody who saw a need and, without being asked, worked tirelessly and effortlessly and selflessly to apply himself to a really meaningful problem, and basically threw down the battle against cancer. I mean, he literally laid the foundation for all the future researchers and doctors who have now been battling cancer for the last 60 years, 70, 80, 90 years, and onward as we continue to battle it. And so I haven't read that paper, and so I don't know. One, I wanted to read it because the biochemist in me is very interested in how we can target cancer, because it offers a very unique problem where we need to find a way to target cancer cells, yet cancer cells are just like our own cells within our body. They're just rapidly dividing. So it's, from that standpoint, it's very interesting to see where it all started. But also from the standpoint of somebody who wants to leave a mark on the world, Dr. Farber represents somebody who basically saw an opportunity, saw a problem. I hate that I just called kids being sick with leukemia an opportunity, but it was a problem that needed to be addressed, and he took it upon himself to do that, and he worked effortlessly and tirelessly, and he did it, and he was successful. And he did something, he made a contribution to the world that, like, forever will be remembered, and forever that we can't take for granted. I think that puts a really good lesson out there, and I'd really like to frame at least the first page of that paper and keep it in my office, because it's a constant reminder that when you see a problem that needs to be solved, regardless of whether or not it's your job or you think it is your job, or whether you have the acumen or the skill to do it, you can take it on. You can take it on, no matter how crazy it may be. Another side note too, like related to like success stories and inspiration and like just doing big great things, is the guy who actually supplied Dr. Farber with his first anti-folate anti-cancer drug, so to speak, the very first one he tried, and was successful. Well, it wasn't the very first one, it was actually the second one, but the guy, the chemist who was synthesizing these new medicines or chemicals for him to try in his clinical trials, actually was a doctor who came here as an immigrant and couldn't find work, and he actually started as like a lowly, like, orderly in a hospital, but yet had a medical degree, and he worked his way up in the hospital and finally got a job in a lab, in a biochemistry lab within that hospital. This is around the same time, 1948, and he was actually one of the first people to successfully isolate ATP, which is like huge. ATP is the energy molecule of all cells. It's a really big fundamental thing in biology. He also was one of the first people to isolate creatine from cells, none of which he was really credited with or known for, but it still speaks to the fact that if you're willing to humble yourself and take opportunities that you would deem otherwise beneath you, it may lead to things bigger and larger. And for example, for this chemist and this doctor turned chemist, it led to a job as an orderly in a hospital, to a job in a biochemistry lab where he isolated two of the most crucial compounds in cellular biology, to a job at a laboratory where he made the first anti-cancer agents. So it's like, if he had never taken that job as an orderly because it was beneath him, I think you guys get what I'm saying, but it's just kind of crazy. So just thought a tidbit there to share with you guys. But it's 7 to 8:08 p.m. I've got to get on my way. Jiu-jitsu's at 7:30. I've got my gi. I had my protein shake, my Greek yogurt. I'm sitting really good
as far as calories and macros, heading into my last meal of the day, really, which will be after jiu-jitsu. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed that little rant on cancer. That's the science-y part of me coming out. So yeah, so I'll see you guys after practice.
Admit it. That was the best nap you ever had. Okay, fine.
Hey guys, as you saw, jiu-jitsu went well. We talked about that. Jiu-jitsu practice went great. I came home, and then my wife had made for dinner a HelloFresh meal, which was essentially like a lasagna noodle ground beef dish, which was great. It was a little bit higher carb, but it had plenty of protein. That basically took me up to my macros right around it. Yeah, so it was a good day. It was a good Thursday. Nothing crazy. First day of the lower calorie, lower macro day, but I felt like I handled it pretty well. Yeah, the key is just, for me, is really just being strategic with making sure that I'm applying those macros and calories to foods I really enjoy and make me feel satisfied and happy, but still get me to those target numbers. So, yeah. I hope you guys are having a great day. That's going to do it for this episode. I appreciate all your support. I appreciate you watching these videos. If there's any questions, comments, feedback you guys have for me, please put it in the comment section. Send me an email, steven@freeborntrainingsystems.com, or follow me on social media and just send me a message on any of those platforms. I'd be happy to hear from you guys. So please, I want to know you. I want to know you one by one, individually. So please reach out. And again, please share these videos with anybody who you think may enjoy them, and subscribe to the channel. The more you guys subscribe, the more you guys share, the larger Freeborn Training Systems Nation becomes, and the more people we help. So I appreciate it, and I will see you guys next episode. Bye.